Hello everybody, thanks for clicking on the video, it's very much appreciated. To all of those who watched my last video, my life update, thank you very much. So yeah, if you watched that video, you'll know that over the last couple of months I've been struggling a little bit with my energy levels, just feeling achy and just generally just low energy and a bit low mood really, I suppose. And in that video I mentioned that I want to change that and take control of that and implement a few extra things into my life. And one of those things that I want to implement is meditation. And that's what today's video is going to be talking about. So meditation is something that I've really tried to implement over the last 10 years, I suppose. On occasion, I've read books about meditation. I've watched online tutorials about meditation. I've tried to follow YouTube videos to help me sort of build that habit of meditation, and nothing's really made it stick. But I'm determined to change that, and I've been doing a bit of reading around the subject. So I read recently about a semi-legendary character called Bodhidharma, who in the 5th and 6th century has actually been credited with taking Buddhism from India into China. Now he arrived in China and was actually refused entry into a Shaolin mosque. And instead of returning home, kind of accepting that China wasn't ready for his teachings, he actually went to a nearby cave, and legend has it he sat staring at the walls of the cave for 9 years meditating until China was ready for his teachings. Now I'm not quite sure what I can take from that story. Obviously I don't have any desire to stare at a wall for 9 years or even close to it. But the idea of the discipline and the patience meditation can undoubtedly teach me definitely appeals. So I've done a few things over the years which I would class as being close to being in a meditative state. For example, the exercise that I've done over the years, for example, the running that I've done, I feel like I'm close to being in a meditative state then. So my thoughts are clear and I'm very much present and in the moment. And also things like the ice baths that I've done in the past, they were very close to, or what I perceive as being very close to being a meditative state, very much centered on the moment. The shock of getting in that water sort of concentrates the mind and the thoughts on that one action, and then in order to sort of distract yourself from that discomfort, you have to completely clear your thoughts. So those things that I have done in the past are close to meditative states, but I do feel like learning the skill of being able to meditate in any situation could definitely be of benefit. So I also want to tell you about another story that I read whilst researching meditation. And it's about a man named Dr. Richard Davidson. Now he was a professor of neuroscience and psychology from Harvard University. And during his studies, he actually ended up meeting the Dalai Lama. Inspired by that meeting so much that he actually started focusing his research on the effects of meditation on mental health. Now he took a group of monks and he studied their brains, and what he found was that they had an increased activity in the area of the brain that is associated with happiness. Some of the long-term meditators of the group were able to generate intense gamma waves, and what that meant, and his results showed that those people had increased focus and emotional stability. His studies inspired him so much that he became a long-term meditator himself, and he reports anecdotally that he feels a lot less stressed, a lot less anxious, and just a happier person in general. Now, as I've already explained, I'm a complete novice myself when it comes to meditation. So at this point, I just wanted to ask if any of you guys are meditators, long-term meditators. How did you learn to meditate? Let me know in the comments below. So one of the ways that I've sort of started playing around with meditation, started to learn a little bit of meditation, is through a device that I was recently sent actually by a company very kindly called MUSE. Now they sent me their headband. Now what this headband is, it's essentially a portable EEG machine. So not only does it look super cool, obviously, super cool headband, but it also is able to read my brain waves, and it links up to their app, and you follow different guided meditations and you get feedback via different sounds within the app during those meditations as to how well you're keeping your thoughts quiet and your brain in the right kind of state. So this is a quick little look at the MUSE app. So as you can see, there's some main menus at the bottom, one of them being meditate. So if I click on that, and then there's a few different pathways that you can follow here. So there's pathways for elevating your performance, rising above stress, happiness, improving your focus, creativity, 14 days of sleep. So I'm in a program at the moment called Discover Mind Biofeedback. So first to click onto this lesson here, posture and body positioning.
Welcome back. In this session, let's add more time to the meditation to see how that feels. This time, we'll be using the gentle rain soundscape.
So at the beginning of each session, it just checks all the sensors are reading your brain waves.
In this practice, be mindful of the balance in your body. Notice how the body naturally moves as you breathe.
The louder the rain, the more disruptive my thoughts. Here is what the results and the data looks like from that meditating session. So I meditated for 9 minutes. Now, admittedly, I was moving around a little bit, trying to film and things like that, so it wasn't a particularly fair test, but here we are. It shows the brain waves that are active during that time. So you've got delta waves, theta waves, alpha waves, beta waves, gamma waves. Here you can see there's little icons of a bird at the bottom there. So that was when I heard birds tweeting, and that was when my mind was in a still state, I suppose. And then it sort of, the gamifying sort of portion of it then gives you some points. So I got 897 points, 2 recoveries and 23 birds. So you can click on here to see what those mean. Did you hear the birds? Birds land nearby when you're calm for a long time. And you can see along the bottom here, so the other big menu that you can select is sleep. So you can wear this during your sleep, and it can monitor your brainwaves while you sleep. So it'll tell you what sleep stages you're in, etc., how calm you were, how still you were. However, I'm not that interested in the sleep portion of this app. I use an Oura ring for that, which is just a simple ring that I wear around my finger, and I find the data I get from that ring perfectly adequate enough. So thanks again to the guys at MUSE for sending me their headband. They sent it to me with absolutely zero obligation to say anything in particular or give it a positive review. I can say I think it's a very clever piece of kit, and what they're designing is very, very clever. Part of me does battle with the fact that I kind of see meditation as quite a pure activity, and one of the reasons to meditate is to get away from distractions and away from technology. And meditating with the use of technology, I don't know how it kind of sits with me, I suppose, but I can't deny that building a habit through kind of gamifying it through their app is where the real benefit comes from something like the MUSE device. Perhaps in a few weeks, in a few months' time, when I get a little bit better and it becomes a little bit more automatic for me to meditate, I won't need or won't want to use technology to achieve that. But good and clever and fun to use all the same. I will pop a link in the description below if you want to check it out. Now, as very lightly discussed in my last video, I have started building a bit of a morning routine over the last few weeks, and I can report that that morning routine has been largely a positive thing. I've had kind of slight ups, slight downs, but I'd say mainly ups with implementing this new morning routine. I don't know whether it's the actual actions or the things I'm doing in my morning routine that are making a difference, or maybe it's just a placebo effect from the fact that I've taken control of things and have this routine now that are making me feel a little bit better. But I will share with you in depth a little bit more about that morning routine and the things I'm doing in future videos. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, that's going to be it for this particular video. I'm off to find a cave so I can stare at a wall for the next 9 years. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.